Hey, Regina here at Tarot in Time, and I'm here with the March Tarot and Astrology forecast. And I'm really excited to share this with you. So for those of you that are new, the opening will be a astrology forecast for the month. It's a lot of information. It will be broken down into week by week video clips that I'll repost later, so you don't have to worry. You can get the information in smaller doses later. I encourage you to listen to the opening because the astrology report will play into the tarot reading that will follow. But if you're short on time, you can skip ahead to the timestamps below for pick a pile. Whichever one jumps out to you first, that is the pile for you. Okay, so let's talk about March. I'm really looking forward to March. And part of it is because it's Pisces season. The sun moved into Pisces just recently, and we have a few planets in Pisces, and one of them that's going to be moving into Pisces this month is the planet Saturn, which we talked a little bit about in last month's reading. So Pisces season, last sign of the zodiac, right? So we're thinking about all that's gone on this past zodiac year. Pisces is a water sign. It's associated with the 12th house in astrology. And it's really a time for resting, retreating, reflecting, and really looking at how we want to move ahead in this new year. I really encourage you to rest during Pisces season. And I know that that isn't always possible, but whatever, even in the smallest ways that you can rest, this is the time to do it, to regenerate, to recuperate. Because once Aries season hits about the end of March 21st, 22nd, it's going to be full speed ahead. So kind of get it while you can and reflect on all that's gone on. Pisces is a very karmic sign. So I really like to look at behaviors, relationships that have formed over this year. What relationships are we taking into the new year with us, the new zodiac year? What relationships need to be left behind? What is our relationship with our work? What is our relationship? I think about Pisces, it rules drugs and alcohol. What's our relationship with that? Where are we at? How do we want to start fresh in this new year? So take the time, because Pisces rules anything that takes you away from society. That's why it's associated to drugs and alcohol. It's associated with jails and hospitals. I like to personally associate it with spas because I think spas take us away, or baths, right? So all these healthy versions of Pisces, and this is the time for it. This is a real time to get an understanding of it. So, two big astrological phenomenons this month. One, like I said, Saturn is leaving the sign of Aquarius and it's going to enter into Pisces. And that's kind of a big deal because Saturn only changes signs about every 2.5 years. So Saturn is often referred to as the planet of restriction or the planet of discipline, often associated with like the harsh parent or the disciplinarian parent. I'm always banging my hand on the table when I talk about Saturn. I think Saturn brings you great success over time. I do not want to live in the idea of Saturn being something to be afraid of. It's something that we need to work with on this planet. So it can bring us long-term success. So when Saturn is leaving a sign, which it only does every couple of years, it's kind of a big deal. Right? So we're going to pay attention to what happens as Saturn moves into this sign of Pisces. I was talking about last month about comparing it to the creation story, and like one day God created the earth, and one day he created the heavens, and one day he created man, and then I think it was the 7th day he rested. And I keep thinking of Saturn going into Pisces as the day of rest, reflection, looking at what's really going on, looking how we want our structure of our life to move forward. And the only way we can really see that is through the pause. Now, the other big phenomenon is that we have the planet Pluto changing signs. And Pluto, which has been in the sign of Capricorn for I think like 15 years, is now moving into the sign of Aquarius. Now, hold on to your hat, Aquarius. And Capricorn, you're going to be pretty relieved because Pluto, it only comes full circle around. I think it's like 364 years or 365 years. So basically, it's not going to come back into these signs in our lifetime, okay? So Capricorn, you're going to be off the hook, although it will retrograde back into the sign a couple times, but then it'll eventually leave for good. Aquarius, hold on, because you're going to have the planet of change, the planet of, it's really a power source, Pluto. And it rules death and rebirth. So there's going to be huge change in your life. You know, I was talking last month about how I remember, and not because I was studying astrology then, but I remember when I looked back and I saw when Pluto went into my sign, Sagittarius, was 1995. And I can say that 1995 was a huge year of change for me, like huge. And it wasn't easy. I can't say that I was cooperating with things very well. And it was intense. And then it stayed in the sign of Sagittarius until 2008. 2008 was another huge year for me. 2008 was very life-changing. I met my life partner in 2008. I lost my mother in 2008. There was a big changes. And so I really think that those changes were huge growth for me. And so I don't want you Aquarians to be scared. I think that this is going to be a really big time of amazing change for you. And I use the word cooperation because if you fight it, it's not going to be pretty. But if you go with it and accept the changes, it can open up a whole new world for you. So take it from someone who's gone through the period of Pluto through its sign in their lifetime, and enjoy the huge change that will come. And this is for any Aquarian placements, sun, rising, or moon, or if you have a lot of planets in Aquarius too. Okay, so we're back to the sun in the sign of Pisces. We have Neptune, which rules Pisces in its own sign. We're going to have Saturn joining soon. Thankfully, a couple of the other planets moved ahead into Aries, like Venus and Jupiter. So we still will have a stellium, 3 or more planets in the sign. And so Pisces wants us to retreat. It wants us to rest. It wants us to reflect. So let's do that. Let's do it while we can, because pretty soon spring will have been sprung and the dynamic fire energy of Aries will just be pushing us ahead. Okay, so that's part of why when you see the cards that I picked for the piles, they're all about resting. So we're going to start off, this video week starts off on February 27th through March 5th. This is the week that Mercury moves into the sign of Pisces. So there's another planet I forgot about that will be in Pisces. So eventually by like mid-month, we'll have 4 planets in Pisces. So Mercury, the planet of communication, moving into a watery, it's a psychic placement when you have Mercury in Pisces. So I want you to really pay attention. Pay attention to the messages that you're getting in your dreams. You might want to keep a little dream journal because a lot of information is going to be coming in. And there's a lot of feelings and a lot of, you may feel it in your body, right? It's not as logical. Mercury, the planet of communication in Pisces, moves a little slower. It may comprehend things at a slower rate or comprehend things more through its watery fluid body, okay? So keep that in mind, that it's a little bit of a slow down and really savor and feel, okay? So this first week, the 27th through the 5th, we're going to be heading towards a full moon, heading towards the full Virgo moon that we have this month. Virgo is the sign opposite to Pisces, so the full moon is always opposite, okay? So we start off the week, we've got the moon in Gemini. It's going to be really social energy. So this is the week of 2/27. Starting off with the Gemini moon, we can get stuff done really easily. It's really social energy. Just don't be too pushy, okay? There's some aspects there where we don't want to be too pushy. Just kind of go with the flow. Gemini is a mutable sign. Tuesday, the 28th, there's really creative energy. So creative writing, speak up, be clear, be direct. On Wednesday, the 3rd, get clear with yourself, but you might want to share with others later. There's a little edginess with others. Great day to daydream on the 2nd of March. Creative ideas, paying attention to the inner voice, because there's going to be a lot of inner voice stuff with this Mercury moving into this watery sign of Pisces. So you really want to pay attention to that voice. I know a lot of the more and more I've been learning about psychic energy and how it works, and realizing that it's not always just going to be like an outside voice coming in. It's a lot of times it's just your inner voice speaking to you, guiding you, directing you, your guides working through that voice. So pay attention to it. Okay. We're going to have a Leo weekend, the weekend of 3/4 and 3/5. So it's definitely a fun weekend. Make plans, but be flexible. Sunday is a little bit of a smoother day for relationships, okay? So maybe Saturday you can be a little bit more on what you want to do, and Sunday might be a great day to spend time with others. Get your moon water out, because we're going to be heading to that full moon, okay? So it's interesting because this month in March we have the holiday, the pagan holiday of Ostara. And I was reading about Ostara, and it's basically on the spring equinox? On the equinox. And it was a festival celebrating, one of two festivals celebrating springtime and the celebration of the goddess and the green man, and very fertile. And I believe, my understanding is that the pagan holidays formed with the Christian holidays, and that was how Easter came about, because the pagan holiday was based on the goddess Esther. So interesting how they were opposites, and then they formed together. So one of the things that I was reading about for how to celebrate that holiday was about like spring cleaning, blessing the home. They were blessing their crops, and they were talking about using moon water to clean with. And I thought that was really cool. Lemon juice, moon water, cleansing the area. And so you can use this moon water to do that, or you can just drink it like I like to do. Okay, so we're going to move into, and I was talking about Mercury to Pisces. Mercury, I wrote, not all communication is verbal. Pay attention to the messages your body's receiving, okay? Because I find I have Mercury in the sign of Scorpio, another water sign. We're talking about Mercury in Pisces. A lot of time the messages come in through the body, through sometimes pain or discomfort, or just a urge to go a certain way. And often you hear me talking about this all the time through dread. Okay, dread is a powerful tool to direct us away from the things that don't work for us, that don't align. Okay, so we're going to move into the week of 3/6 through 3/12, and we have this full moon week. And this is the week that Saturn is going to move into the sign of Pisces, okay? And so the full Virgo moon is going to be on Tuesday, the 7th, but you know that it builds up to it a few days before. So you really need to be paying attention to it the weekend before as it builds, because full moons, you know, it makes everybody a little nutty. And this is a full Virgo moon, and Virgo is very precise, and it wants a sense of organization, which is cool that we're going to be moving towards spring cleaning. It also, sometimes it can be a little bit harsh on itself. So making sure that you are aware of that, and that your inner voice, that you make sure that you're being kind to yourself, okay? So Monday the 6th, something needs to be said, but not yet. Plan it, write it out. Are you being too judgmental, especially on yourself? Okay. Virgo is associated with the Virgin, right? And sometimes that sense of purity, sometimes we can get caught up in judgment of others or judgment of self. So just be aware of that. So then we move into the full moon on Tuesday, the 7th. Contemplate options, but don't push. Dream big. This is Pisces season. Pisces does everything big. Okay. Wednesday, the 8th, don't push too hard with others or people, please. Now, let's not get into that. Just rest. This is our rest. This is our chance to rest, so take it. On the 9th, things start to lighten up, especially with the opposite sex. We had some things going on with, we had some squares going on with Mercury, and with Mars. So just be careful with the opposite sex, and it will lighten up by Thursday. On Friday the 10th, you're not in charge. Roll with the changes, okay? I just want to look at my little handy dandy computer system here and look at the 10th. And so the moon will be in Libra. It's close to the past life point, the south node. And yeah, there's a lot of consolidated energy. There's a lot of fogginess with the sun really close to Neptune. That's going to be a theme all month. The sun is going to be really close to Neptune. Pluto is squaring the moon. So I think that's some of why I said you're not in charge. Pluto is a power source, and it's making an aspect to the moon. So roll with the changes, because change is the key word when Pluto is involved. We will head into a Scorpio weekend, the weekend of the 11th and 12th. I speak of Scorpio weekends, so I love Scorpio weekends. So be humble and flexible, and you might just have a sexy Scorpio weekend, because Scorpio does rule sex. It does rule change. It does rule beginnings and ends, but it also rules that deep emotion. So try to enjoy. Pay attention as Saturn moves into Pisces, and note how that is affecting you, how you feel, okay? Especially if you are a Pisces. So Saturn to Pisces, Saturn loves structure. Pisces loves limitlessness. Should be an interesting 2.5 years, all right? Okay, so we move into the week of 3/13 through 3/19. I think that's St. Patty's Day week. This is a week that we're heading towards a full moon, okay? So by the end of the week, you're gonna wanna get your moon water out again. So this is a constant practice. Venus is going to move. Venus, the planet of relationships, especially the relationship with ourselves, others, especially with women, the planet of value and beauty. It's moving into its own sign of Taurus. So this is a lovely, lovely time to have Venus in Taurus, all the beautiful things of life. Mercury, the planet of communication, is now going to leave Pisces and move into Aries. Monday the 13th, reflect on all that you have learned this zodiac year. On Tuesday the 14th, keep things fun and light and don't have any serious conversations, okay? It's Mercury's having some squares and with the moon, and let's just keep it light. Let's not get into the deep stuff. The 15th, Wednesday, keep your eyes on your own plate. Just stay busy. There's a lot of squares. Just keep to your own thing. Thursday, the 16th, be open to possible ways to run a tighter ship, okay? We're going to be in a Capricorn moon by then, and Capricorn likes efficiency and likes to get the job done. On the 17th, there's going to be a lot of change in the air. The moon starts to move into Aquarius. That's St. Patty's Day. The moon will be conjunct Pluto, so it's all about change. Change is in the air. Life is showing you what needs to change, so listen to it, okay? The weekend of 3/18 through 3/19 will be an Aquarius to Pisces weekend. So Saturday, just go with the flow. Things are flowing a little easier. Some of the squares are wearing off. Sunday, just slow down a bit, okay? We're back to another square with Uranus. The moon's going to be conjunct Saturn, which kind of makes us want to push and not acknowledge our limits. And we need to acknowledge our limits. We need to slow down. We're in Pisces season, so try to take it slow on the 19th, whatever version of slow is to you. And then we move into the week of 3/20 to 3/26. And this is the week that the sun will move into the sign of Aries, okay? We will have a new moon in Aries this week. Pluto will leave the sign of Capricorn and enter Aquarius this week on Thursday. And Mars, the planet of action, will move into the sign of Cancer. So there's a lot of activity going on. That's why I keep saying rest up, because it's going to pick up speed, okay? So Monday the 20th, that is Ostara, the holiday that I was talking about. And it's also the spring equinox, okay? So we're just going to be moving forward. So let's celebrate it. Things are not balanced. Rest a little more before spring pops, okay? We have a lot of energy all together and not as all over the chart, so it's just not going to be balanced. It's going to be hitting certain areas of your chart. Tuesday, the 21st, we have the new moon in Aries at 1:23 p.m. Eastern Standard. Contemplate your next move, okay? Aries wants to move. It wants to go. It wants to recreate itself. It wants to go full speed ahead. Contemplate your moves before you make them. Wednesday the 22nd, energy is very consolidated. We talked about already. This too shall pass. Thursday the 23rd is the big day that Pluto leaves Capricorn, where it's been for 15 years, and enters Aquarius. Change is the word, especially for you Aquarians. And the rest of us can, kind of watch and learn what changes there when this power planet, and I know we call it a planet, I know there's some controversy about that, but in astrology we call Pluto a planet, and it's going to be interesting to see its change since it happens so rarely. Friday the 24th, treat yourself. Treat yourself, okay? I think that's because the moon will have moved into Taurus, a beautiful sign. Let me just switch my screen here. So on the 24th, yes, the moon moves into Taurus, and it's right close to Venus. It's also close to Uranus. Treat yourself, shopping, dessert, maybe get a massage, whatever you can do. Just do something to treat yourself, okay? It's going to be a Taurus to Gemini weekend, the weekend of the 25th and 26th. So be open to new ideas, but don't overthink. Us Geminis, I'm a Gemini moon, we can overthink it up. But be open, savor it, get out and about. It's a really beautiful weekend, okay? You should be feeling different by then. If you've been feeling stuck, if you've been feeling unclear, it's going to shift because all these planets are shifting. And so I think that the restlessness and some of the sadness and the lack of clarity is going to lift, okay? Now we move into the week of 3/27 to 4/2. And I wrote for the 27th, slow down just a little. Everything is full speed ahead with Aries. There are a lot of planets in Aries, and we don't want to put the pedal to the metal, okay? Your feelings are important on the 28th, but not worth a war. Take some deep breaths. Aries is traditionally called the god of war, Mars. So let's not get into fights, okay? Wednesday the 29th, not a great time to voice your feelings. Spend some time alone. Thursday the 30th, creativity runs high, but keep your mouth shut a little longer. And Friday the 31st, a little more alone time will do you good. And that's just because of all the aspects that are going on for those days. And sometimes it's just when we have a lot of squares and a lot of, the moon will be square Mercury, the planet of communication. It'll be square Jupiter, which makes things bigger. Square Chiron, some of our soul's wound points. So let's not get into it. Let's just do our own thing. Little alone time will do you good. And then the weekend of 4/1 to 4/2. Remember, we're heading towards a full moon. So things get intense. Saturday is a good day to do what you want. Sunday has more social energy, but keep it light, okay? Lightness is the key. We can get deeper into our feelings and deeper into expressing them as we move into Taurus and Gemini season. Aries, have fun, be creative, get out there, clean, enjoy the spring clean, recreate yourself, lighten up, but hold out for some of the really deep conversation and maybe confrontational conversation a little later, okay? All right, so I told you it was a lot of information, and like I said, I'll be breaking these down into posts later on for you. So when we get over into the cards here, I use this beautiful deck, this Astara deck that Patty Kitson was so kind to have gifted me. And Patty's one of our great readers at Tarot in Time. So here's Astara, that's the High Priestess on the cover. And so it says, the vernal equinox, Astara, wakes the city after winter. And I picked some really beautiful cards from this deck that just really accentuated the rest theme, okay? So this is the Seven of Pentacles. This is pile number 1. Looks so comforting. Then their little nest, all comfy, and they've got little teacups in the background. This is pile number 1. Pile number 2, we have the Nine of Cups. More comfort. She's just laying on her cats there in front of the fireplace. Lots of teacups there too. Okay, resting, recharging. And then for pile number 3, this is the Nine of Pentacles. And she is really chilling there. Really beautiful. Okay, so I haven't looked at any of these cards yet. I'm excited to share what we spontaneously get from each pile. So go ahead, choose the pile that you're attracted to, and let's get started. Pile number 1. Here's this beautiful card. So cute, so comforting. Okay, so this is our theme card for pile number 1. I'm working with a few different decks here. I haven't looked at any of these cards yet. Oh, this one's falling out, so we'll start with that. This is going to reflect what you need to know this month of March, okay? This is from the beautiful, where is it? I have so many decks. The Green Witch Tarot. And the Green Witch Tarot feels very along the lines of Ostara to me. So I wanted to use this one. And let's see what we've got going on this month of March. We're starting off, we have the card, the Witch. And this is the Magician, card number 1. The very first teacher that the Fool meets on his journey in tarot. Teaching him that everything and anything is possible. Okay, so this is a really amazing, great card to have as your first card for the month of March. Now she's making her potion there. She's got all the elements here: fire, earth, air, water. Her crow is up here assisting her at the top. And so there's something fresh, something new. There's intention here. There's intention to create what you want, okay? So let's see what else we need to know here. This next card reflects the heart of the matter. And the heart of the matter, we have the King of Swords. Now, the King of Swords, I love that this one is like an eagle head, precision, being able to see all the details. And so the King of Swords represents big business. He represents, he's the king of communication. He's not going to take any nonsense. He's a king of boundaries. All right. So you've got this new energy coming in here with the Magician. You've got the King of Swords here to help you with the precision, to make the choices, to make, to see clearly, really. Supporting the heart of the matter, we have the Fool. Wow, the Magician and the Fool. Right? And they're beginning cards here. It's new journey. This is what the whole tarot deck is about, the Fool's journey. And he's taking that leap of faith. This is supporting the King of Swords. So I kind of feel like if you're launching a new business, if you have something new that you are deciding to do here, new project, I mean, it really feels like business to me. You're ready. You're ready to take that leap. You have planned, you have possibly saved to launch this. You are really ready to take the leap, okay? Now your foundation card is the 10 of Challenges down here. Now it looks like he's pretty exhausted, okay? It's the 10 of Swords, 10 of air. He's got a lot of mental stimulation. He looks a little wiped out. So this is your foundation. Maybe you're feeling overstimulated here. But that is why you need to take this month to rest, to recharge, to get ready, because it looks to me like there is something new that is going to be launched forward. And you don't want to go in feeling depleted. Okay, let's see what's going on behind the scenes. We have the 8 of Pentacles. Look at that little owl, hard at work creating those pentacles. Okay, this is a card of working. It's a very Capricorn-like card, very busy, busy, busy. It's in the background. So this is something that you've been working on for a while. Maybe you're reforming, revitalizing. Maybe you're coming up with a new way to present your project, but it feels very fresh. Here's the Sun from the Forest of Enchantment deck. A lot of owls showing up here. The sun shining brightly, okay? There's a lot of heart and soul in this. There's a lot of being seen. There's exposure here. The light is shining. Let's see what we have in the future position. We have the 8 of Swords. This is from the After Tarot. So this is based on the Rider-Waite image where she's just alone, held. And now someone has come to help her. Okay. And so the help, it's almost like help is on the way. The help that you need, help free you up, is on the way. And the 5 of Cups, 5 of Chalices here from the Green Witch, okay? Now she's pouring out that cup. Looks like the other cup's on the ground. She has 3 cups in her basket, okay? So there's some relationships here. This is what it looks like to me with 2 cups that aren't working. There's some emotions that are being poured out, but she is going to move ahead with this 3 of Cups, which is a celebration, which is joyful. This may be emotional. This may be a little bit painful. There's the little bunny there. We're in the year of the rabbit, moving into Ostara, which is the celebration of the goddess Esther, right? Easter's all related to the bunny there. So there's some things that are changing emotionally right now, and that's okay. Maybe the people that have shown up to help you are not the people that you expected to be the ones that were going to help you, but the help has arrived nonetheless, so we can't argue with that. Let's see. I'm going to pull a few more cards to see anything else here to know a little more understanding of this future position. There's the Queen of Wands coming up. And the Hierophant. Okay, so kind of looking a little bit more in the future here. The Queen of Wands, especially next to this one, she's freedom. She's ready to live a big life. She's a Queen of Fire. She's a world traveler. So you're being freed up. You're being given a great amount of freedom here through help arriving. Okay, so dropping the idea that you're stuck because you're moving greatly into freedom. Not to say that it's not going to be emotional. It's going to be transformative. The Hierophant. Hierophant, usually seen as a priest or a sage, right? Think of priests, they're there at birth, they're there in death, right? So it's intense moments. And here's like this grand walkway, and it looks like it's walking into like the shape of a hand, which is pretty cool. These hands open with candles and this information, these books here, all these information being opened for you, okay? So I think you're going to get some clarity. I'm not going to say that it's going to be easy because the Hierophant's also a 5. You got 2 5s next to each other. There's change. There's definitely growth, and there's a lot of freedom. And you might feel emotional about what's been left behind, but you're going to move forward. I'll just pull a couple more. We have the 7 of Pentacles. And the 6 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles is working hard. He's built, it looks like a compost pile to me, but he's working on his garden. He's growing his stuff. Okay, 7's the number of the year, so there's forward movement. It may feel slow moving, but it's happening. And the 6 of Pentacles here almost resembles justice, the scales there. And it's almost like if you're waiting on some financial support, some financial backing for your project, it's arriving, okay? May feel like it's taken a while, but it's arriving. It kind of feels very Pisces down here with the fish too. So I feel like it's arriving very soon. Okay, I'm gonna roll some dice for you. And you got Mercury, the planet of communication, in its own sign of Gemini in the 9th house, which is Sagittarius. So this tells me that there's like messages on its way for you that are going to expand your world. Think of the 9th house. It reminds me of this card. This could be a Sagittarius queen. The 9th house is Sagittarius. Expansion, foreign travel, news from overseas, foreign connections. And yeah, I feel like there's a lot happening. I'm not going to say it's not going to be emotional. So please rest up. Please retreat a little bit so you're not overstimulated. And with Mercury and Gemini showing up, can get easily overstimulated. A lot of thought. And remember that you are free, that things are lining up for you. I see resources on its way for you, okay? Remember, the first card that showed up was the Magician, okay? Anything and everything is possible. It's pretty exciting. Okay, so what I'm going to do this month, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I wrote on this piece of paper, rest, love, and work. And those are the themes that we're going to pull some cards on. I am going to put some charms over here on the calendar so we can see where our busy times are. Okay, so it looks like really everything's kind of landed up on the top. The last week is the quieter time, the 26th through the 31st. We have a lot of energy up at the beginning of the month. There's all sorts of charms. We've got a Pisces charm on the 1st. We've got this prayer, supplication kind of card. We've got an anchor. It's like kind of get grounded, take that rest, use prayer if that's what you do. Talk to your guides, talk to your inner voice. We've got a lot of energy on the weekend of the 3rd and 4th. Looks like you might be going to a concert or some kind of fun. Something kind of maybe out of the blue. We've got some energy on the 7th and 8th. We've got a wolf howling and a guitar, which is fun. We've got some on the 10th, we've got a school, little mascot here for a school. Maybe you're looking at schools with your kids or something. There's something there about a school being founded. So there's a lot of knowledge coming in, and it also came in next to a palm tree. We've got a lot going on the 13th and 14th of the month, and then again the weekend of the 17th and 18th. We've got this letter D and the number 4, D4. Okay, with a lot of energy on the equinox. You've got some trees, maybe you're thinking about gardening. And we also have some sunshine that week. And on the 24th, we have this large piece of amethyst come out, okay? And then it kind of slows down, quieter towards the end of the month, okay? So let's see what we need to know here in regards to rest, love, and work. What is it that you need a rest from this month? What in regards to love? And then I'm going to pull one more for what do you need to know in regards to your work. Oh, we got an extra one that fell out, so let's just see what that is. We have the Ace of Pentacles just flying around here. Ace of Pentacles, he's got a beetle in his hand, which feels very spring-like, something new, something of value. I love this archway here. The path is mowed for you. Some new opportunity, okay? That's just a bonus card. Now we're going to go into rest. And you have the moon. The moon is very emotional. She's got her hand on her heart. There's a lot of people behind her. So we need a rest maybe from all the different moods, from all the emotion, right? And remembering that, we can go into the emotion strongly, but we can take deep breaths and we can come down out of the emotion strongly. Just the way the moon does. Peaks and then it dissipates down. Okay, so this is our rest, the moon. Now for love, I have the Empress. She's lovely, ruled by Venus. She definitely loves herself. She's in good relationships with others. I love that there's like a bird's nest in her hair. Feels very spring. She's related to the sign of Taurus. And this flower just sprouting in her hands. Okay, so she really savors the beauty. She looks very calm. Okay, the Empress, love. Venus, very activated Venus for you. As far as your work goes, you've got the moon also. Look at that. This is the after tarot. So originally that woman's not there in the original Rider-Waite. Now she's appeared. Okay, almost feels like help is on the way again. And there's some emotional support here. I have helpful woman here. So to the moons, very interesting that you got that for rest and for work. So very emotional, but really settling into the beauty, savoring the simplicity with love here with the Empress. Love of self, love in relationships, and the Empress loves the finer things of life, the beautiful things, as she's really in love with nature here. Okay, this felt like a real nature card too. Okay, now I'm going to use this oracle. This is the, what is this? The self-care oracle. And let's pull a couple cards for how you can really care for yourself this month of March. How can you show yourself that love? What can you do? Let's see what we've got for you. We're going to pull 2. And we have connect with your womb. Look at that. It looks like the sign of Aries, doesn't it? Connect with your womb, which is very Venus, okay? So this is just connecting with your emotions, connecting with your power, the delicate power. It's like the uterus, it's so delicate, but yeah, it has so much power. I love the moon symbols there. So connect, that can be connecting with other women, connecting with your mother, connecting with your power, connecting with the amazing way that we are made, okay? This can also be, we're talking about spring cleaning. So all of you women out there, this could be like yoni steams, using herbal steams. And for men, this can be really respecting women, really respecting the amazing power of a woman, okay? And your other one is massage. And I'm not just saying this because Tarot in Time offers massage for $1 a minute, but this is what card came up here, okay? So really hitting those back of the neck, all these reflexology points in the foot and the lower back here. So, which is interesting that is kind of close to where the womb is, where her hands are. Well, maybe a little lower. Okay, well, anyways, massage. Can't go wrong with a massage. So really just tend to yourself this month. It looks like you have big plans that are about ready to burst. Looks like you have help on the way for you. You have a lot of moon energy, so you know that things will be moody, but there is a lot of power and intuition there, okay? And really just stopping and smelling the roses, so to speak, enjoying the simplicities of life, the beauty of life, getting ready for this major power source, Aries energy that we're moving into towards the end of the month, okay? All right, and I think that's everything. So, oh, I didn't do the letters. I'm gonna do some letters for you. I'm gonna take a picture of this at the end so you can get a better view of everything. And let's see what names, initials, all that kind of good stuff we get here. And I've got H-E-L. I'm hoping I have a P because it would be help, and I felt like help is so on the way for you. And nope, we didn't get it. What do we got here? We've got the word hour, H-O-U-R. Maybe you're gonna get an hour massage. Ah, I got my own name, Gina. Although I've been going by Regina lately, and I have that too, which does mean queen. So treat yourself like one. Okay, what else do we have? We have the word bone. Okay, we have what else do we have? Do we have luck? No, we have Lou. All right, well, the rest of these, I have the name Lou, L-O-U. And I have UK and UFO. Okay, so I'm gonna take a picture of this. You can see what you make out of this, okay? And have a fabulous month of March. Pile number 2, this lovely 9 of Cups. It feels so relaxing just looking at it. I feel like I can feel the fireplace from here. Okay, let's see what you need to know this big month of March. Haven't looked at any of these cards yet. Let's see what you need to know this month ahead. We're starting off with the Four of Visions, okay? Now, Four of Visions, Four of Cups, okay? Four is associated with a pause. We've been talking about taking the time this month to pause, to savor before the energy picks up a lot of speed. Now, he looks a little bored, and he looks like he's missing seeing this. I think it's a kingfisher. And that's too bad that he missed seeing that, right? He's off in his own thoughts. There's a lot of emotion here, a lot of lack of emotion, just kind of bored, okay? So let's see how that plays out. Things can be really foggy when we've got a lot of Neptune energy going on, which Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Now, in the heart of the matter, we have the World card. The World. So this is coming up in the heart, almost like we want the world, we want everything, and yet there's a sense of boredom here. Sense of maybe missing out a little bit. This is what the heart's longing for. My candle is melting onto my table. Okay. All right. Let's see what we have here. Supporting the heart of the matter, we have the King of Pentacles. It's pretty lush there. King of Pentacles likes his stuff, likes beauty, likes his pentacles, likes his money, likes his things that are of importance to him. This is supporting the heart of the matter. I kind of get the impression that maybe you're just thinking a lot about money, and maybe you want to take a trip or something, and maybe you're just kind of concerned, questioning if there is enough. Certainly looks like there is here. Your foundation card in this reading is the Nine of Cups. Look at this beautiful feast being presented to him. There's plenty. There's a lot of emotion, well taken care of, okay? No lack. Maybe we've just become complacent. Maybe we're just so used to, maybe the things that used to interest you aren't interesting you right now. Let's see what's going on behind the scenes. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Things are growing, some at faster rates than others. 7 is our number of the year. Pentacles is anything of value. It's kind of waiting for the crops to grow bigger. This is in the background. There's more like waiting energy. The Six of Pentacles. There's a lot of money transactions going on here. Might be part of the hesitance of spending right now. And then moving into the future position, we have the King of Wands, the world traveling king, the King of Fire. You know, he's definitely not feeling like this. The King of Wands is get up and go. I see some movement here for you. I see a switch. I see you shifting out of the complacency that you're feeling right now. And I have the Page of, this is the Page of Wands. Okay, and he wants an adventure too. It's almost like the season has come. It's waking up, getting out into the wild world. Okay, so I do see things shifting. I see that your heart is there in the world. Maybe you're a world traveler at heart, or there's a strong desire. I think this part of the story is kind of changing. I think there's a lot on your mind about finances, and there's a lot, it's almost like every time you get money, it's being given, or it's being tripped up into things where it doesn't do well or something. But I see a shift happening, like you're getting smarter, you're getting keener, your senses are getting stronger to be able to tell if something's like, maybe you got like duped on a deal or something. That's changing now. That's not the way it is anymore, okay? So rest up, because I feel like you're going to be traveling soon. You're going to be, there's just going to be more of an adventurous spirit in general. Let me pull a couple more cards here. Let's see what we've got. A couple more in the future position for the month of March. I've got two here. One is the Four of Pentacles. Somebody's at his door. 4 is a pause number. Pentacles is a value. It's almost like he's taking those pentacles down, like he's getting ready to pack up. Kind of makes me feel like the trip is happening. And the 7 of Wands, they're both kind of like putting things up or taking things down from this wall here. It's kind of interesting. It's almost like you're either leaving a home or arriving at a new one. So it could even just be like traveling, going to Airbnbs, going to different places. I think that there's some change happening here. I feel like there's a bird here that you're missing out on. There's this little bird watching, this little woodpecker watching this deal go down. You got another little bird watching you here. Interesting. So I feel like there's some movement, there's some shift of like maybe where your home is, maybe you're just getting out and experiencing different homes. I'm gonna pull a couple more. This is strength. Another bird. Look at that one. It's like a hawk, I think. Beautiful. Strength is Leo. It's the heart chakra. And the high priest, bird flying over him there. This is the Hierophant card. This kind of reminds me of Moses. I don't know. Okay, so the high priest, 5. It's, I forget my Bible stories, but didn't Moses go up into the mountains to receive the 10 commandments? And it almost feels like this divine intervention coming in, the light coming in, like you're receiving these messages. I feel like maybe you're traveling to some kind of sacred place or something where you're going to receive kind of like a download of information. I feel like you're going to be on the road, and this complacency, this boredom is coming to a change. This fear about money shifting because you know that you're always taken care of and you're making wiser decisions. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so maybe you're planning, maybe you're actually getting up and going. Maybe that's where you're going to get your rest. Maybe it's that you need to get moving, and that's actually what recharges you. Here's the Hanged Man. Interesting that this Hanged Man, it almost looks like all these jack-o'-lanterns are underneath him. So you may have been feeling frustrated since the fall. You may have felt held. And I feel like that's starting to shift for you. Yeah. Here's the Lovers, and it's called The Lady and the Lord. And this is what Ostara is about. The goddess and the green man, the lady and the Lord. The rites of spring passage, okay? So there's a shift coming for you. This is a Gemini card. Gemini likes to get out and go. Almost feels like there's companionship for you here. And here's the King of Wands again, and he showed up twice. Okay, and this kind of looks like this scene here by that fireplace again. So getting out, living, enjoying, and maybe just feeling more passion in general, okay? I feel like the time of being held back is changing for you. So a lot of the pile number 1, really encouraging rest in general, but I think your rest actually may be through a little bit more movement because the feeling stuck is not working for you any longer. Let's roll some dice and see what we got. We've got fireplaces in 1, 2, this one's not on, 3, 4, and then you've got a lot of fire element in general. Pretty cool. And we rolled Venus in Leo in the 7th house, okay? Venus, relationships, value, Leo, the heart, joy, fun, 7th house, relationships, okay? And you did have the Lady and the Lord here. So I see some movement here. And if you've been alone, I think that's going to be shifting. If you've been stagnant, that's starting to shift. And have a little faith in that things seem to work out for you financially. and things are moving ahead, that you can make a move, that you can move forward. And I think the trip will be worth it because you will receive some really important information while you're on it. Okay. I'm just going to pull, are you taking a trip? Where to? And I've got the 5 of Swords. And this is the 8 of Swords. A lot of swords. Well, you're definitely thinking about it. He's a messenger. There's a lot of thought, but you're kind of feeling stuck. It's by the ocean. Taking a trip. 8 of Cups. Another ocean. He's definitely pondering it. He's definitely got that pondering look. Okay. So consider it, maybe start planning it, maybe book some refundable tickets. There's a lot of overthinking about this, but there's a need for freedom, and there's a need to get over this boredom aspect, okay? But I do think that relationship-wise, there's more compatible people coming into your life. They're almost like knocking on your door here. And so I would get spring cleaning towards the end of the month and moving some stagnant energy out as winter starts to end, and really showing up and making plans for yourself. So maybe even if it's just getting outside more, getting not being as stagnant inside, and trusting yourself to have better judgment with your money in the future. Okay, that it's not all through thought, that it's through feeling, trusting the feelings that come up as you make your moves. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to throw a few charms on this calendar. And we've got some energy at the beginning of the month. We've got a blue moon cap on the 3rd of March. We've got a few of these circles, letter C. There's some prayer on the 8th. I see kind of like it really starts off, there's a lot of like weekday activity here. There is it's a little quiet on the weekends. There's a, what is this called? A fortune cookie that says life is either a daring adventure or nothing. That's the 28th. I've got the initials SA and the word Y. Also have the word CT, Connecticut, on a circle here on the 8th and 9th. So if you're in CT, you might be trying to plan to leave. If you're not in CT, you may be wanting to come here. But I feel like there's a lot, like you're busy working, but I don't see a lot, like almost like your weekends are free. That's what I'm getting, like a freeness about it. Okay. Okay. Let's see what else we're doing here. I wanted to take, I had written on this sheet, rest, love, and work. And I'm going to, instead of doing our week by week cards, I want to work with these themes, rest, love, and work. So under rest, it's almost like, what do you need a rest from? What does it look like? Love, I'm going to go with a different deck here. What do we need to know with you for love this month? And then as far as your work goes. Okay, in regards to rest, we have the Holy King. This is the Hermit. Okay, now he is outside, even though it's cold, he's out there on his path of truth, finding his way. And so that, I keep getting kind of like that your rest is different. Like your rest is actually maybe a little bit more through movement and through alone time. And it kind of with the charms here, I kind of get a little sense of like some open time to do what it is that you want. Okay. Now in regards to love, we have the 5 of Pentacles. Okay. This is a really interesting card. 5 is a number of change. Pentacles is anything of value, right? It can often do with our relationship with money. And I love how this panda, this is the deck that has, every human has an animal head. This panda is being fed hay and like a grocery store bamboo when his real natural environment is out here. Okay. So love, I feel like there's a need for you to kind of treat yourself a little bit better. There's almost like a scarcity mentality, which came up in the cards too, that like, I don't know if you had a bad transaction or something, but you're like almost not trusting yourself about money. Maybe you've cut back. This is almost like an example of like not buying organic because it's too expensive. Okay. But your true nature is what's out here. And the Hermit was outside and he would like to be outside. So kind of loving yourself a little bit more and really choosing what's important to you, okay? There's a change happening there. Now, as far as work goes, you got the Fool card, jumping right in. So maybe there's some new things going on with work, or maybe you're ready to make a move forward in regards to what you're doing, taking a leap of faith, okay? All right, so I'm gonna do some letters here, looking for some names or initials. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna take a picture of this stuff so you can see it. And as I threw this, a charm had been in there and it was the moon. Okay, this gold moon here. So the moon can be moody, but it can also bring us great intuition, all right? So trusting feelings to move you forward. I've got the word grape. Maybe you need to eat some grapes. It's coming right here, right under this bamboo picture. And we have the word, let's see. I have the word sugar. So maybe this is a good month to really take a look at your diet and see, maybe getting more onto like fruits than straight up sugar this month. I have the word pride and prides. And then I've got a Q and an R and an O. Those could be somebody's initials. I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to take a picture of this. Grape, sugar, prides, and QRO. Okay? Have a great month of March. Pile number 3, this beautiful relaxing card here, the 9 of Pentacles from the Ostara deck. All right, she looks really chilled and she's got her protector there next to her looking out for her so she can rest, okay? So calling in your guides, asking for the support that you need so that you can get the rest that you need, okay? All right, let's talk about what you need to know this month of March. I have not looked at any of these cards yet. I've got a few different decks that I'm working with. And we are starting off with the Fool card from Ostara deck. All right, this Aquarian card, she is taking this ride on this broomstick. She's ready for an adventure, okay? All right, let's see what we've got here. This month of March, what you need to know. This is the heart of the matter, the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, Ace, something new, Pentacles, something of value, this beautiful path paved for you, or grass grown for you. All right, let's see what you're moving towards here. Supporting the heart of the matter, we've got the Ace of Swords. 2 aces in a row. The Fool and 2 aces. Pretty cool. This is like this bird is in service, right? It's going to bring, I believe it goes and gets information, brings it back to you. Ace of Swords, Ace of Information. Something new, new thought, new ideas. Foundation card. We have the Green Mother. This is the Empress card. Feels very spring-like, right? She looks like the Green Mother here. Well, she is the Green Mother. She looks like Mother Earth. This little rabbit here. We're in the year of the rabbit, Chinese year of the rabbit. And she's given birth to this little child here. Always giving birth to something of value, okay? Very connected to the earth. Okay, so she's your grounding force here in the foundation position, and she is an Earth Mother. Okay, all right, let's see what's going on behind the scenes. We have the King of Swords back there. It's like he's opening up his mail with his swords. He's got a lot of information back here, a lot of scrolls of information. He rules big business. He's the king of communication. He's coming in back here next to the Fool. So there may be some changes that you're making in the workplace, or maybe there's some things that you are ready to say and speak up to people. There's the Child of Challenges in the background. This would be traditionally called the Page of Swords. More air energy in the background. So maybe kind of pondering what it is that you want to say. And we move into the future position. We have the Seven of Swords. It's kind of sneaking off here with this bird cage. Taking 2 swords with him, leaving 5 swords behind. Kind of sneaky energy in some ways. 7 is our number of the year in 2023. Swords is air, communication. You've got air straight across the board here. The Fool is Aquarius, which is air. Behind the scenes, you have the King of Air, and then the 7 of Swords here. This is the Nature card. This is actually the Devil card in tarot. So he's putting this bear trap down, but there's the bear right there. There's this party going on in the background. It almost looks like reminds me of a kid's book. My kids had the Bunny's Ball. Party going on in the background there. Okay, so interesting with the bear trap, with the bear watching him, trying to trap him. It's very interesting. Okay, I need some clarifying cards here because I'm getting... So far what I'm getting is like, you're ready to jump into something, and it may be something you've been contemplating for a while, might be some business, but it kind of feels more about something that you need to say. There's some kind of communication that's been going on. And, oh, this is falling out. This is the 4 of Pentacles. Looks like he's on this little Viking ship. He's got an eye patch on. 4 of Pentacles, 4 of value. 4 is often a pause card. Looks like he's been oh, interesting. I see scrolls back here too. Looks like maybe he's gotten into it over what's important to him before. So maybe you feel like you have to sneak, and maybe you have to feel like you almost have to set a trap to almost trick someone into what you want, or the conversation that you want. Let me get a few more here. Looking for some clarifying cards. And this is a 9. So this is the Hermit. Wow, that's a powerful card. Okay, the Hermit is looking for truth. And interesting how it's coming in like right next to this bear too. Think of bears, you think about, they really walk in like circles, right? They kind of go over the same ground. And so maybe there's some conversations that you've been going over the same ground. It seems like it's over something important to you. It might be over your family or over children. You might not be knowing how to take the action forward. But you've got these aces there. You know the end reward. You know what you want. I gotta get a few more cards here. Okay. Getting a few. I got the 3 of Swords, the Devil, the 2 of Wands, and the 9 of Wands. Okay, so you've gotten the Devil card twice. Okay, here's another version. This one, there people are in the bird cage. This one, you had them sneaking off with the bird cage, okay? So these are kind of like the lovers down here, right? And so, and they've got the 3 of Swords. There's a soul wound here that wants to be screamed about. So 2 of Wands here, ready to hit the road. And the 9 of Wands where she's giving it a roar. Okay, I'm like getting mixed messages here. I'm getting kind of like that you almost like you've been contemplating speaking up. Maybe there's been some relationship issues, or there's been something where you feel held, you feel like that bird in the cage. You feel like you've been trying to like air it out or bring it up to the surface, but there's almost like it hasn't worked. There's been like more injury. It's almost like adding insult to injury is the expression that I'm getting here. You're really ready to give it a scream. Like, look at her. She's screaming. She's screaming. You've had enough. You're not going to be controlled anymore. You're ready to hit the road. That's what I'm getting. I feel like this, I'm going to pull up a couple cards because I feel like this is regarding a love relationship. Yes. Okay, this is the 10 of, I think, cups. It's a little hard to figure out. There's some entwinement here, right? This is almost like, this feels like a karmic relationship. This feels like they're entwined, but they have, their eyes are covered, but they're just entwined together. So I'm getting like, there's like some karmic relationship here. You may have children together. But there's something here where there's like something needs to come up. There's some old stuff that needs to surface. And I feel like you've tried before, and it's like that adding an insult to injury concept is coming out. You've been pondering how to handle this for a while. You've tried a few ways and it hasn't really worked. And now you're stepping into like, this just feels like your truth. This just feels like you are just, you know so clearly. This 3 of Swords, this injured heart, but you're ready to express and scream about it and tell people about it and share it. You don't want to be held anymore. The Devil is associated with guilt and shame. And it's Capricorn, and Capricorn doesn't like to, I don't think Capricorn likes to look bad. They don't want to kind of have people see maybe what's really happening, but you don't want to be held anymore. There's a sense of freedom here. You're ready to go. She's got a lock in one hand and the key in the other, and this road, this wide open road. Okay. So I'm just going to pull a couple more if I've got the gist of it. Is there anything else? Did I miss something? The 4 of Swords and the 6 of Wands. Okay, the 4 of Swords here, he's resting, right? This is a pause card. It's been aired out. Here's the Swords. And now it's like you got to catch up on the rest now, okay? You've done what you could do. This is a card of triumph here, the 6 of Wands, moving forward triumphantly, okay? So that's what I'm getting. I mean, I really think it's in regards to a love relationship, but in general, it can be like these karmic relationships in general, but it has a pretty heavy love vibe. Let me just see. Is it definitely love? What kind of relationships? 2 of Wands. It may even be an older relationship because she's like waved goodbye, like they've already left. This could be, it doesn't have to be in the present moment. This can be like, it may have already happened. It may have been someone who you've parted with before. Maybe there's still some communication, maybe because of family matters, or because of, could even be property matters. But it looks to me like you've tried a lot of different ways to deal with this. And now it's just like, that's enough. There's a scream here. You're going to come through this triumphantly. You're going to need to rest, okay? Make sure you get it. But there's no more like, you still have to take action. It can't just be you just sleeping. You have to take some action here. The information has been given to you. You know the truth. You're ready to move forward. That's what I'm getting. I hope that makes sense to you. I'm going to roll some dice. We've got Saturn in the sign of Sagittarius in the 1st house. Okay, Saturn is structure. Saturn can be like your family structure. It can be your career. It can be, it's often associated with the father. It can be the restrictions you put on yourself, the container that you put yourself in, the rules that you live by. In freedom-seeking Sagittarius, okay? In the first house is Aries house, the house of I am, recreating. You could be recreating your household. You could be recreating your freedom. You could be recreating your work. But there's something here that's showing you kind of like this, getting on with it. You now, before you had like the key, now you have the lock and the key. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull a couple self-care cards for you regarding this. How can you care for yourself this month of March? You're getting 4. All right. You got lots of options for self-care. 1 is clear your energy fields. She's saging. Okay. Sage your aura, sage your body, clear up. Because this feels like it's been really heavy for you. Hydrate. Don't forget, it's Pisces season, water sign. Stay really hydrated. You know, they say most of the time that we feel hungry, we're actually just thirsty. Look to the stars. All these astrology signs, which you're doing, listening to this reading. And alone time. Okay. Alone time, very Pisces too. So take this time to reflect, to hydrate, to rest, to look at this. This relationship feels very karmic. And I feel like karmic relationships get a very like, ooh, it's a karmic relationship. I don't really think that they're, I don't know, my opinion. Sometimes they're just here because we haven't gotten it straight in the other lifetimes. We haven't gotten it straight earlier on. And now we're here to get it straight. Okay. And sometimes getting it straight means saying no. And sometimes getting it straight means breaking free. And that's what I'm seeing here for you. That's really what I'm seeing. Okay. So, let me move these charms. I forgot to clear them away from last time. Let's pull some fresh charms for you on March calendar. Okay. We've got the word smell. We've got an elephant there on the first. We've got the letter D on the second. We have the letter M on the third. Off of the chart, we've got this ring. Okay. So I feel like there's a relationship here. There was a commitment here, but it's not even on the month of March. It's back in February. We've got a 5 on the 6th. We've got some activity, a little bit of activity on the 7th and 8th of March. It looks like the weekend of the 11th might be a little bit of an emotional weekend. We've got some rose or some clear quartz on Ostara spring equinox. So there's a good clearing. It's a good time to do some spring cleaning. Clear your energy field. Clear your energy fields. Okay. I love working with quartz. We've got this look for someone's strength instead of weakness on the 24th. And yeah, it's not too busy. It's little scattered energy through the month, but nothing crazy. Looks like the first 8 days of March are the most intense up to the 11th, and then it's a little bit more sparse. Okay, sparse isn't a bad thing. It'll give you time to rest. I took this piece of paper and I wrote rest, love, and work on it. And so instead of doing the week by week reading, I'm going to work with these themes of rest, love, and work. So let's see what comes up for you for rest, what you need a rest from, what your rest could look like, okay? Regarding love, see, love came up, your relationship came up pretty strong in this reading. So I'm going to pull 2 cards for each of these, what you need to know regarding love, and then anything regarding work, okay? And we got 2 cards to you for work. So let's start with the rest. We've got the Hermit. That's interesting. The Hermit came up in pile 1 for rest. This Hermit is, what is going on in this? He is, oh, it looks like there's a lot of, it looks like he's almost in a cave. There's a lot of snow. It's an interesting hermit. I can see bats up here at the top. But anyways, he needs his alone time for sure. Okay, so this is rest. A lot of alone time, which came up here. Alone time. All right. It's not a bad thing. It looks like there's like, these look like mushrooms. It's funny. Okay. And for your other, under rest, you got the 2 of, you know, this is a little bit hard in this deck to tell which element it is, but it doesn't matter. It's a 2. You know what's interesting is there's that bird cage again. So we had the bird cage here, and we had the bird cage here with the lovers under the devil. And here it is again. It's a 2. And instead of the bird in the bird cage, she's in the bird cage. Okay? So there's a relationship here with freedom. There's a relationship here of your choice of where you're held. Okay? And this is in the rest. So, interesting. So reflect on that, okay? As far as love goes for your month, we've got this Ace of Pentacles. It's violet color, which just makes me think of spring. And all these flowers popping up, and just really what's really beautiful and of value to him. There's love here, cherishing the beauty all around of springtime. And you also got the Green Man, which is the Fool card, okay? This is love, and this is a really, this has a lot to do with Ostara, right? And the rites of spring, and the idea of the Green Man and the Maiden coming together. There's a little bit of a celebration here. Here's the Green Man. I don't see the Maiden though. I only see the Green Man, okay? So, and this little bit, I'm just really getting like, I'm just really getting that your relationship is really hard for you, and you need to go spend some alone time. You need to reflect on if that's the right match for you. It's really what I'm getting. As far as work goes, we've got the 10 of Swords here. Okay. Wild boars around you. She's got her brew there. Her eyes are closed. She's got all these swords around her, almost protecting her. Something's shifting. Something's changing. 10 going into a 1. She's kind of relaying her thoughts around there and going in. It's kind of a pause. And the Page of Pentacles. This is kind of young, childlike play. Magic. Living in that magical realm. Thinking about what brought you joy as a child. Okay? So there's a shift happening. I see a lot of shifts happening for you. And I think this shift with whatever's going on in this relationship here is going to shift everything for you. There's going to be more of a lightness. So really, my best advice, I'm just going to pull 2 more cards for the best advice I can give you. The Magician. The Magician feels it in their body, right? They can make magic happen. They can transform things. And I really think this is about your transformation and your freedom. And the 7 of Wands, kind of waving at you. 7 is this year. And there's a time for a shift. I forget what this like references, but it feels like it reminds me of like an Ajax soap commercial. And she's waving at you, and it's like that traditional role of the woman is shifting. You're ready for a change. They're saying, hey, like, hello, right now, okay? Ready for that shift. So I wish you all the best in the month of March in your future endeavors. You remember that you do end triumphantly. So please keep that in mind, and also with the great rest. Let's do some letters because we forgot to do that. Looking for names, looking for initials, whatever we see here. Okay. we have a Z and an X. I'm going to put down there, and a W. We got 2 W's. Got the word sweat. Got the word sweater. Sweater. Is that how you spell it? I've got, first thing that jumped out was duck, using this blank. Raft. Toe. And then the rest I'll leave as initials, T, N, D, Z, X. Okay, so you see what you can make out of this. This is what I got. I'm going to take a picture of this, and you can see what you can come up with, okay? Have a wonderful month.